Welcome to Nighttime with Odi, with me, Odi Fitzgerald. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic leap day. I was going to try and make up some jokes for the leap day that's in it, but you know, I keep tripping over that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, these are the jokes, people. These are the jokes. Terrible, terrible jokes. But yes, it is in fact the 29th of February, which doesn't happen very often, about every 4 years, give or take. Would you believe that the very first leap day happened in 46 BC? Now, I'm not too sure how that works, because I know the calendar started when that lad popped out, and then it was 46. So I'm not quite sure, but I do know that it takes 365 and a quarter days for the Earth to go around the sun. I'm not going to turn this into a science lecture, because just after what happened the last time, no, not going to do that. So somebody decided, well, let's give us an extra day and we'll just pick the shortest month and we'll put it in there. I think it was Julius Caesar. That's why we have the Julian calendar. You see, you just thought it was a normal TV show. No, you're learning stuff tonight. I know there's a first time for everything. But everybody around the world that is born on February 29th, they generally, and we want to say a big happy birthday to everybody that was born on February 29th. Happy birthday, because if you're 100, you're like 25, and you know, you've only had a certain amount of birthdays, but it gets complicated, and anybody that's turning 4 today is really only turning 1, and it's very strange. But most people around the world, they celebrate their birthday, and it's an official one as well, on the 28th of February. Apart from Sweden. Sweden have to be different. Sweden decided, no, if you're born on the 29th, you're going to celebrate it on the 1st of the March, okay? And that's how I do it. Hurdy-scurdy with the chicken in the pot. It's the Swedish chef. Remember him? The Muppets? Yeah, some people have said I was the Muppets. What? It is. What do you mean, ha, 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 about the Muppets? The Muppets were amazing. There's still quite a few of them knocking around as well. But speaking of Muppets, it's Florida news time. Yeah, I think we need a kind of a jingle for my Florida news. But the sheriff of Polk County, well, he's been on talking about a young guy by the name of Mark Bryan. Now, criminals do silly things, okay? We all know criminals do silly things, and we have one of our guests later on the show. He can tell us a few silly things that he's seen criminals do. But if you were going to break into a car, now not suggesting that you do, but if you were going to break into a car, where's the last place that you'd want to do it? Not the sheriff's department, that's too easy. Try doing it at the city buildings, the government buildings. This guy decided the best thing in the world was to break into a car. He then proceeded to get locked into the car that he broke into, which was actually the police chief's personal car. When he was arrested, he said, I didn't know what it was doing, and I'm sorry. The sheriff then went on to say, well, you can't fix stupid, but you can put cuffs on it. And speaking of other little catchphrases like that, you know when people say to you, out of sight, out of mind? Well, they've never had a spider in their bedroom at 2 o'clock in the morning. But I tell you, talking about the police earlier on, I got stopped by the cops on the way here to the studio tonight, and I had my glasses off, And we were talking about this earlier on in the week as well. When you have your glasses off, you look totally different. So that's how Clark Kent got away with it. But I had my glasses off, and the policeman, he looked at my driver's license, he looked at it and he said, you should be wearing your glasses. And I said, it's okay, I have contacts. He said, I don't care who you know. But yeah, what else have I got for you? So, I've heard news from Australia that they're going to have, now, you know, some people might get a little bit offended by this, but you know, it's okay, it's okay, it's all been done correctly. They're going to have some marsupial fighting leagues. You know marsupial fighting leagues? You've heard of marsupials, the animals with the little pouch. Possums, they're marsupials, they have the little pouch as well. They're going to call it Mortal Wombat. Yeah. And did you know that wombats, their poop is cubed? Like, did anybody know that wombats poop, it's, like, I'm not just saying that. The only thing I want to know, first of all, why? And second of all, does it hurt? I'm just going to leave it there on that. Anyway, listen, we are live on Facebook and on YouTube, and if there's any comments that you want to make to us that we can read out, and we will read out your comments, make sure you drop them to us, because our guests love to hear comments, love to get your feedback. If there's anything you want to say to them, if there is any insults you want to throw at me, remember, this is a family-friendly audience. I can't read them all out. It's not the radio tonight. But anyway, listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have an absolutely fantastic show for you. Don't forget, drop us comments on Facebook. And, if you want to be on the show, get in contact with us as well. And we can get you onto one of the red chairs and you can have some fun talking to this guy. But between now and then, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Talk to you in a few minutes, all right? Yeah. Sorry about that. They're always after my Lucky Charms. Well, I mean, it's March tomorrow, so we have to start with the leprechaun stuff. It was always going to happen, so we just said we'd get it out of the way, and I'll eat them later on. Anyway, coming up this week in Anderson, we've got a few little things that are happening. Now, have you ever wanted to try wine and cookies? Now, I know it's a different combination. Well, you can do that on tomorrow night between 5:30 and 8 p.m. over at the Arts Centre. You can get yourself some wine and Girl Scout cookies. It's a ticketed event, so get in touch with the Arts Centre and they'll hook you up with some tickets. The International Pro Rodeo Association is kicking off in Garrison, in the T-Ed Garrison Arena this weekend. It's on Saturday and Sunday night. Remember, we had, I just have this little thing here. We had the girls from the Easy Bend Rodeos were in last week, and that's it there. So you can get your tickets there. Tickets are available on the door, but do head to the Easy Bend's Rodeo website. Facebook page, website, you can get it all the information there, you can get your tickets there. They are going to sell out fast. The girls told us last week that the March rodeo sells out really quickly. If you're looking for theatre to go to, then head on down to the Clemson Little Theatre. That opens tomorrow night with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I know there is some tickets still available, so make sure you get onto their Facebook page and their website as quick as you can. You can go to McGee's Irish Pub on Friday night. They have brunch available on both Saturdays and Sundays. It's going to be live music on Friday nights. Anderson Museum has a paint and learn. Now, I'm not kind of sure what kind of painting it is, but it's on from 1 to 3, so it can't be still life. Well, you never know. And that's on Saturday. You can check their website for tickets. And there is a Red Cross of America party to celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday on this Saturday at 4 p.m. at the Sylvian Learning Centre and on the Miracle Mile. So make sure you head down to there. Come dressed as your favourite Dr. Seuss character. That's pretty much all that's happening in Anderson this weekend. If you're going to go to the rodeo, I'll be there on Friday night. So come say hi, give me a hug if you want. That's completely up to you. Anyway, it's time for my first guest, all the way from the Giant Slayer Ministries. Will you welcome Mr. Greg Whitfield? How are you, sir?
Fine.
Pleasure to finally meet you.
Yes, sir.
So, Giant Slayer Ministries. What are the Giant Slayer? Do you have a big beanstalk out the front?
No beanstalk.
So tell me.
It's out of the biblical character, Goliath.
He was slain by a pebble, if I'm right?
Yeah.
Or a stone.
Come from a sling out of a young man's.
Was it David? David,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Now, I always wondered, a big giant and this small little stone out of a slingshot. And I always wondered, it wouldn't hurt that much. It wouldn't do. Have you ever seen what them slingshots can do?
I've seen some windows broken.
Ooh, I've seen in the right hands. But then again, in the right hands and with the right guidance, then anybody can do anything. And I think that's what you're here to tell me tonight about.
Yes.
So, where is the Giant Slayer Ministries?
We are in Seneca, South Carolina.
Okay. And how long have you been there?
We've been there since 2020.
2020, so you're there 4 years.
Right.
4 years, not scary. Do you remember when people used to say 2000, like they'll say something is from 2000, and you're like, that's pretty new. And then you realize that was 24 years ago. Yeah, it's kind of scary, and the hair is going back a little bit. Oh, sorry, we won't mention that. So, if people go to the Giant Slayer Ministries, what are they going to find?
What we are an alcohol and drug resource recovery center.
Mm-hmm. We
help assist those ones who are seeking to find recovery from alcohol and drugs, and we place them in a situation or an environment that's best for the recovery.
Okay. When someone gets in contact with you, is it something that they have to do themselves?
Well, we always say that, the recovery is only for those who want it. It's not for everyone. So, yeah, they have to reach out, or if they have a family member that would want to reach out, but we really would like for them to reach out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So if someone, when they come to you and they're like, I suppose they're at the last point I won't say last point in life, but they're at their last turning point. And if they don't get help, then
could be devastating.
It could be devastating.
Yes,
and
life-threatening.
Yeah. And I would imagine that there's a lot of people who they've got stories about how family could have left them completely, and they're just at the.
Yeah.
How do you feel then when you've got people walking in pretty much every day and they're broken. they're broken people.
Exactly. You know, and some of those bridges have been burned because of some of the mistakes they've made. Sometimes the people turn their backs and they're just looking for someone to give them a second chance.
Right.
Some
And-
hope.
Yeah, and like, so as I said, you've broken people coming into you. What's your first guiding step? What's your first on their path to recovery?
Self-awareness. Basically, you need to realize that you need help. So self-awareness is the very first step, knowing that you need to find a better way of life.
And you're there, like, I mean, when they come to you, you can't tell them you need to find a better way of life, because and you know as well as I do, if you tell people, if you sit someone down and say to them, this is what has to happen, it's not going to work.
No, they have to see it for themselves.
So once they get to the realization that, okay, there is a problem, I need to get out of where I am, I need to get out of the slump that I'm in, what's your next piece of advice for them?
Well, we'll find them a suitable recovery environment, be it, a lot of ours is faith-based, but we do support any type of recovery program that's out there. And we have many partners in the upstate that we're partnered with that will reach out and find them a place that they can do their recovery.
Okay. So when they start into the recovery period, what's the next step then? Is it to try and rebuild their lives, rebuild their past?
Yes, each one is a different program set up, and they'll probably just individualize their recovery for that individual. It's all based on the individual. And once they find that program and kind of get their feet on the ground, once they're out of the program, we try to set up a mentorship program after that to kind of continue their recovery.
And how do you feel that people, do they survive when they start into the recovery process, when they try to fight their inner demons, or I suppose in this case, do fight their inner demons? Do you find that when they go back out into the world that they still need help, or they still need to?
Oh, yes. You know, you have to change the environment you came from. You can't go back to the same environment. I tell the guys and the ladies that, you know, you got to know your circle. You know, I tell them, if you show me your circle, I'll show you your future. So what you're around, you're going to become. So that's the number one thing. Once you're out of the recovery program, you need to change your whole environment.
Yeah. Have you ever had where everything you've had someone come to you and you've tried to help them in every way, shape, or form, but it just didn't?
Oh yes, that happens.
Well, how do you feel? How do you feel when that happens?
It's a struggle because you want to see them to do better. You want to see them recover. But in this, you hate to call it a business, but in this ministry, we do see that there are some ones who aren't ready for recovery. They're not ready to face their giants.
So, I mean, that's obviously where you got the giant slayer from,
Yes.
because it is, I mean, alcoholism, drug addiction, it's a burden onto a person. It's a heavy weight on the person. And as a lot of research has shown, it's possibly not something that they had full control of when they got into it. If they started drinking, if they started drug using, if they started drug abusing, that a lot of people have addictive personalities, and that they can go from living a perfectly normal life to one little upset. Have you found that most people, or all the people, have similar stories or similar backgrounds, or
Very similar. Yes.
and it all started with possibly one event?
Yes,
or,
and it would snowball. It grows larger
okay.
if you don't have a control of it.
So we'll go from the doom and gloom, the bad side of it, to the good side of it. When you have someone that contacts your ministry, you get them help, you see recovery, you see them starting to come back into regular life, you see everything starting to come back to normal. How do you feel then?
It's a blessing to know that you've been a part of their lifestyle change, and to know that you can continue to partner with them along their journey, because it's an everyday battle. An addiction problem is an everyday battle. You have to decide every day that you're going to fight it. You want people around, you want a community with you that's going to help support that.
Okay. So if there's anybody out there, and I know there's a lot of people out there who, I mean, will be affected by the stuff that we've talked about tonight. And I mean, I think everybody in every walk of life has somebody that has had something in their life, has had an addiction within their life, within their family, within their circle of friends. What's the very first, and I know you said self-recognition as to a problem is the first step, but what is the very, very first step? Like, if I had someone in my life, do I talk to them? Do I talk to you? What's the...
Well, basically, you need to talk to them and see if they're ready. You can't really force recovery on anyone. They have to be willing to accept it and to be ready to fight for it. We've seen that if you try to push it or if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, it's not going to stick.
No,
you have to do it for yourself. We have a lot, we see some of the failures, they'll do it for, they'll do it for the mother, they'll do it for their children, and until they're ready to do it for themselves,
they're not going to do it.
They're not going to do it.
Okay. So if there's anybody out there who's watching this and they want to get in contact with you, what's the best way to get in contact?
We have a Facebook page. It's Giant Slayer Ministries. And we also, you can reach me on my personal Greg Whitfield Facebook page. And we also, 864-324-4396. That number is out there to text or call. If you have a family member or if you yourself would like some recovery, or if you just want some mentorship, some coaching after recovery, we're more than willing to partner with you.
Okay. Now, if there's anybody out there who's watching this and they're not within the area, because as you know, we go out into a global audience,
Right.
Is there anything that you can suggest to them that they need, not that they need to do, but that they might like to do?
Find a community that's going to support your recovery. You need someone who you can team up with that's going to be there, because you're going to have some bad days.
Yep.
And you want a community that's going to support you and some peers that's going to fight for your recovery as well.
Okay. So you're the Giant Slayer Ministries, you're up in Seneca. If people feel that they need to get in contact with you, you've given all it. We will, if anybody wants to get in contact with us, if anybody needs any of the details, any of the numbers, just drop us a message on Nighttime with Odi onto the Facebook page. Just do it on the DMs, on the private messages. We'll get all the information to you as soon as possible. And we'll put you in touch with Greg. Greg, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And we wish you nothing but great success.
Thank you so
and
much.
Hopefully you can help a lot more lives.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. Well, we are going to take another quick little commercial break and we will be right back, so don't go anywhere. And you're very welcome back to Nighttime with Odi. I hope you're having a fantastic Thursday night. Remember, you can get, I was going to say the text line is open, but you can get us on Facebook Live. You can drop any messages you want. Lots of people currently watching and lots of people who are looking for information about the previous guest. Remember, if you want to talk to Greg, then get onto the Giant Slayer Ministries Facebook page, and he'll give you all the information you need there. Now, you remember a couple of weeks back, we had the girls from the Greenville Roller Derby. You try saying it, it's not easy. the Greenville Roller Derby girls, there you go. Well, their first match is coming up on the 16th of March, so make sure you get onto their Facebook page, get onto their website as well, the Greenville Roller Derby girls, and you get all the information there. I do believe that it's an absolutely fantastic event. A little bit gruesome, well, not gruesome, but you know, they're traveling fast and they were kind of scary girls. I mean, lovely, absolutely lovely girls, but they've got big skates on and you know, they're acting. Anyway, time for a bit of music. So will you welcome with her song Beauty and the Ashes, Miss Kristen Tu. Absolutely fantastic. Come and have the chats. You can bring your trombone with you.
I'll bring my guitar.
Yep, you can. How are you? Loads of messages coming in. Absolutely. Mary said, beautiful music. Frank said that absolutely fantastic, great voice and great sound. And John said, absolutely fantastic music. So there you go. You've got loads of people. That's the great thing about the Facebook stuff is interactive, and you can know if you're doing a great job, and in my case, a terrible job.
No.
But yeah, so how did you enjoy that?
Yes.
Do you like playing music?
I do. I've done it since I was a little girl. I grew up singing in my local church choir. From then, I kind of progressed into doing solo stuff. When I was about 17, I joined a duo group, and after a couple of years, I wanted different things, so I branched out on my own and formed a full band, and we play all over, and we're very versatile, so I mean, we do everything from acoustic shows with 2 people or a whole band.
You do like rock shows like Slayer and Metallica and Megadeth, and you look like a kind of a Megadeth kind of a girl, like
goodness.
You've got, You know, it's always quiet ones. It's always quiet ones.
Always the quiet ones.
So you started at a very young age.
Yes.
Started with the church groups, and you got into music. Who got you into music? Who did you watch playing music and like, I can do that? I could definitely do that.
Oh man, I had lots of inspirations growing up. I mean, my grandfather, he's actually the one that taught me to play.
Okay.
This is actually the first guitar that I actually got.
Wow.
I named my guitars. This one's Carolina. I know that's weird, but that's a fun fact.
I mean, like, what is the? There's one guitar in particular. It's from a rock group. I think it's from AC/DC. I'm not sure, but it's the Bumblebee.
Oh my goodness.
It's the spirally yellow and black.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there you go. All good guitars. All good guitars have names. I haven't named any of mine. No, haven't named any of mine yet. How many guitars have you got?
2 acoustic, 1 electric.
Oh, no, okay. That's not too bad.
So
It's
I
not too bad.
haven't went any further with my addiction yet.
Yeah, you will.
Per se.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen. So when you play with, do you prefer playing on your own? Not that you prefer, but when you're playing on your own, do you kind of do you get into it more? Do you put more soul into your singing, into your playing?
I don't know. That's a really good question. The acoustic shows, of course, whenever you're playing solo or with one other person, they're more intimate, of course.
Yeah.
So you can kind of, interact a bit more with the crowd. But whenever I do full band shows, I put my heart and soul in it. So I'm up there rocking it like I'm performing in front of millions.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I want to be able to give my all in all that I do. And music is something that's gotten me through a lot of hard times, as well as some joyous times in my life. And so I want to be able to give it my all.
Yeah, I think music, it moves everybody.
It does.
Whether you want it to or not.
Exactly.
I was because I do a little bit of extra music preparation, and we were doing, as I said, the rodeo is on this weekend, and my wife is in part of that, and she said, "Odi, I need you to make up music." I was like, "Yeah, okay, I can do that." When I say make up, editing it together.
Yeah.
So there I was on the computer, and Proud to be an American, because that came on, and the music comes on, and I'm just like, I'm not American yet, but I can feel the tears kind of coming out. I was like, this is patriotic. Music is not. Oh, it does. There's been many times where I've been at events and they're playing loud music, and you're just there and you're like, I'm not upset. I'm happy.
I'm not crying. You are. Like,
yeah.
I just got something in my
But
eye.
that's what happens. I think that's what music does to everybody, and I think it's a great gift that you don't only play it, but you give it to other people as well. Because there's a few people out there, and they can't sing, but music is a great thing. So. People want to get in contact with you. Oh, yes, you have. She kept this one secret. You have a single out.
Yes, I do.
Go on, tell me about it.
This single, it's one of my older ones. It's called Carolina Moon. I released it back in 2018. It's, like I said, one of the older ones.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get into a studio. I wanted to get something recorded, and so we took this song into the studio. And it was a whole experience. Like, it was wonderful. But, I mean, that was the first one. We're hoping to come out with more this year.
Yep.
We're hoping in the month of March to get back in.
Get more stuff out.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, you play a song for me later on?
Yes.
Cool. If somebody wants to get in contact with you, where can they get you?
They can get me on Facebook. They can get me on Instagram. Email is kristentoolmusic@gmail.com.
Cool.
We're getting ready to launch a website as well, so they'll have a whole page in order to contact me there too.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, Kristen, thank you very much.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for coming in
having
and playing.
me.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you.
been absolutely fantastic. I love bringing new music to people and new faces
Yes,
onto
yes.
the global audience.
Well, and
So-
as artists, we appreciate it
Well,
as well. So
you know,
thank you.
that's it. Tell your friends.
So, I
Get them
will.
to come down. Right. I tell you what, we're going to take another quick break. You can get Kristen Toole on all of her Facebooks and medias and all that kind of fun stuff. So don't go anywhere. We will be back in 2 minutes with John Cello, and it's going to get a little bit loud in here. Hopefully not. Yeah. Talk to you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Nighttime with Odi. Now, I promised you earlier on that it was going to get a little bit loud in here. Hopefully it won't, but if it was going to, well, we definitely have the right man. All the way from the Tactical Pirate, will you please welcome Mr. John Cello. Yeah. How are you, sir?
Doing well.
Pleasure to have you in. So, John, you don't look like a pirate.
Left the eye patch at home.
You left the eye patch at home. But so what is the Tactical Pirate? Is it like, you know, pirate ships and you go around except you've got like AK-47s and AR-15s and kind of, but no pirate ship?
No.
No pirate ship at all?
No.
So
I was trying to come up with something with, the military has a thing, tactics, techniques, and procedures to counter threats.
Okay.
And I was trying to come up with something with that.
Okay.
And couldn't.
No.
And so, Tactical Pirate.
Tactical Pirate is what we got. So what is the Tactical Pirate? Are you actually the Tactical Pirate, or is it your establishment?
Well, that's the name of the LLC, name of the
Okay,
company.
okay.
And I'm it.
You are
It's
it.
one
Well,
man.
there is Mrs. Pirate and
Well, yeah,
there's
Mrs. Pirate.
Pirate Dog now
Yeah.
as well. And
Somebody's got to be in charge, so.
yeah, it has to be Mrs. Pirate. So I mentioned before you came on that it was going to get loud in here. So why would it get loud if it was going to? Is it anything to do with the fact that you're a firearms instructor?
It may possibly be that way, yeah.
So do you want to give me a brief little history of what the Tactical Pirate is and what you actually do?
Sure, we teach handgun, carbine, and pistol classes. Shotgun, pretty much if something comes out of a barrel, we teach it.
Okay.
In the way of small arms. I started doing that way back when, as an NRA instructor. did it for law enforcement, did it
Yep.
in the military, taught the Afghan National Police. So, yeah, got a little experience
Yeah,
teaching people.
yeah,
so.
one or two little experiences. So, the first thing that a lot of people now, you know, I come from Ireland. I come from Europe. Guns aren't as prevalent in Ireland, in Europe, in anywhere else in the world apart from America. When I came to America first, I was like, oh, you know, guns are everywhere. You know, I mean, you could leave a gun sitting there and it'll bite you. You know, yeah, they're dangerous. What do you do to talk to people about stuff like that? I won't say to comfort them, but to let them know that all of the bad stuff they've heard about guns is just bad stuff they've heard about guns.
Yeah, it's just a matter of training and education. If you're not familiar with something, you're afraid of it.
Right.
That's like Mrs. Pirate.
Yeah.
When we first got married, because I'm a guy, she thought I needed these giant power tools that I have no
Oh,
idea
yeah,
how to
yeah,
use.
power tools, yeah.
And, you know, the first thing she bought me was a miter saw. And you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I'm still scared to death to use the thing because I'm not familiar with it.
That thing will hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's tough to dial 911 when your hands
When
are
your
bloody
fingers
or
are
you're missing
gone.
fingers.
Yeah, and- yeah.
She bought me a router table and I immediately launched a 2x4 into the garage door. So it's just a matter of training and education and getting comfortable with it. We have people that don't own guns, never shot one before, but they want to learn, they come out.
Right.
And we step them through it.
So you bring them from, would I be right in saying, from never having had a gun, touched a gun, fired a gun, to feeling comfortable around them?
Yep.
How long does that take?
We do a ladies-only clinic just for women.
Okay.
And in 2 days, we go from never having touched a gun to shooting and moving and shooting kind of IDPA stages and
So the IDPA is the International,
Defensive Pistol Association.
that's the one, because I keep thinking of IPAs. I don't know why an Irishman keeps thinking of alcohol, but you know what I mean.
Can't help but wonder.
Can't help but wonder. Now, you don't just go to them in a class and say, here's a gun, don't hurt yourself. You have some of these props, don't you? These ones here that you point at people and you pull the triggers. No, that's no. So, do you want to talk me through, like, the first thing you do, you hand them one of these and you say, don't hurt yourself.
Well, you go over
They're fake,
how
by the
they
way,
operate.
they don't work.
Yeah, they're just chunks of plastic. So I can point them at people and not feel bad about it. But you take them through that and teach them how to hold it, how it works.
What it does.
Exactly. What to expect. You know, you can go to YouTube and watch a bunch of idiots handing people guns that recoil really bad, you
Yeah.
know, and they hit. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But what we do is we step them through just to get the safe handling. You know, when they're holding the gun, finger off the trigger, pointing in a safe direction and all that.
So I heard that is it rules or laws, or is it the 12 basic rules of gun management? Or
4, yeah.
4, yeah.
Yeah.
I always get them confused. It's the Monty Python in me. I keep getting 4 and 12 confused all the time. So what's the very, very first rule of?
If the 4 rules, if you look at them as immutable laws
Okay.
that you don't want to break, you won't have a negligent discharge. What we refer to in the trade as a suboptimal experience.
Optimal, a
Yeah,
whoopsie,
but
yeah.
The first one is, you know, you treat every gun as if it's loaded. If you pick up a blue gun, you treat it as if it's loaded. So many people, you know, you read about, well, he shot himself cleaning his gun. How? You know, it was loaded, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's your first one. Always treat a gun as loaded, even a blue one. Right. What's the second one?
keep your finger off the trigger.
Oh, yeah.
Until you've made the conscious decision to shoot.
Okay,
Okay.
so what you're saying is when they're holding a gun like that all the time, I mean, accidents are going to happen. All right, so we don't do that. Right, okay. So what's number 3?
Always keep it pointed in a safe direction. You never want to point a gun at anything that you're not willing to kill or destroy.
Okay. Okay. So you don't be scratching your head with the barrel. No, oh, no.
No.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so don't
it's-
point it at anything. you
Yeah,
should-
the thing about keeping your finger off the trigger, it's a fraction of a second to go from that to that.
Okay.
So, always, they're always loaded, always pointed in a safe direction, finger off the trigger.
All right,
The
then.
last thing is be sure of your target and what lies beyond it, because bullets have a propensity of passing through things.
yes.
Cars, targets, things of that nature. You want to send them home. Bullets made of earth material, lead,
Oh, yeah.
copper. You want to send them home. Let them go home.
And that's particularly relevant with hunting. When
Absolutely.
people go
yeah.
hunting, that if they don't know what target, if they have their target, okay, so they're there and they've got this 12-point deer that walks out and they're all hyped up and they're all giddy and they're looking through the scope and they don't see the friendly neighborhood dog standing behind it, or the person out for a walk or a hiker or something, and they just take the shot. And if they miss, well, as you say, bullets go through things, but if they miss completely, then it could be. So always be aware of your targets, your surroundings, and all that.
Yep.
So if you had someone who was terrified of guns, like completely 100%, no, can't touch them, no, definitely not, would you be able to reassure them?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We just did a ladies' clinic a couple months ago, and a girl never shot before, never shot
Yeah.
before, and went through the blue gun phase. This is how you hold it. This is what to expect, and I've got a BB gun.
Oh, okay.
If I think that that's what they need,
Yeah.
but I just put a 22 in her hand and took her down
Okay.
end of the bay, and I told her just aim at something, shoot. I don't care if you hit it. She shot it, started crying because it was a breakthrough for her.
Well, it's a rush.
Yeah.
It is a rush. I mean,
And,
I remember the first time when I came to America. There's a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours. He brought me shooting, and everything was safe. We were at the range. We were doing everything right, and we shot little guns. And then he says to me, "Right, do you want to have a go at the big one?" I was like, "Okay." AK-47, and he just said, pointed down range and just pulled the trigger, and just that whole kind of, it's the giddy feeling that comes through.
Yeah.
So if anybody's out there watching this and they're still not convinced, how can they get in contact with the Tactical Pirate?
I've got a Facebook page, the Tactical Pirate. My website, tacticalpirate.com. My email address is john@tacticalpirate. You see a theme here, right?
Yeah. It's a little bit tactical and a bit piratey. Yeah. So if they want to get in contact, now you do a podcast as well, don't you?
Yes, I do.
So your podcast comes out, and I think we've put up a couple of links to that podcast already, so people can get in contact. So you will help people if they have a fear, if they want to just get involved, if they want to learn, if they want to know anything about firearms. You're definitely within the area. You're definitely the man to call. Perfect. So anyway, I will see you on Saturday because we're going shooting Saturday morning. Right, that is about it for the show. Thank you very much for coming in, John. We will be back. Oh, no. Next Thursday night, we are doing a best of show. We're taking a little break, but we're definitely going to be here. We're going to have some of the best things that have happened in the last couple of weeks, and one or two of the best things that happened in the last season. So don't forget to miss that. Next Saturday, we'll be putting it out live, and I'll be sitting at home, and I'll get to watch it for once, and I'll be commenting. So don't forget, you can comment on Facebook as well. We do love hearing your comments and love seeing all of the information coming in. I will be back on News Talk 98.9 WRD on Saturday night with Lonzo and Cameron for the Upstate Pulse, where we talk all things comic books and games and all that fun stuff. The brackets are still going on, so we're talking about the best sidekicks. So make sure you tune in to us on the Upstate Pulse at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. As I said, we will be back here next Thursday night, kind of, slightly, but we will be here. We have a show on for you. And between now and next Thursday, we will talk to you then. And oh yeah, people have asked about my Dead Horse. Well, we're in Dead Horse Productions, so anything you need to, any production needs you have, make sure you look up Dead Horse Productions, and they'll help you out with all that, because all of these cameras and all this studio, that's all there, so they can help you do anything you want. Right, playing us out on this Thursday night. Will you give it up for Kristen Toole again, who is going to be playing her song Jealous. Talk to you next week, guys. Bye.